G'day everybody, Simon here, Explosive Action. Today we're going to take a look at 10 horror movies stuck on VHS that I believe require a Blu-ray upgrade. Let's get into it. A reminder as always that this video went to members first. They got early access 24 hours or so to check this video out before everybody else. You can join for 99 cents a month. Please consider joining the channel. Helps support me and helps support this channel and what we do. So today's video is a really cool response video, and it's been a while since I have been involved in a horror movie YouTube community response video, and this is really cool. This started, I believe, with a channel called You and Your Horror Movies. Now that's not a channel I'm familiar with, but where I saw this was on Horror's Ball, who's one of the channels, the YouTube horror community channels that's been around since the dawn of time, and has been not doing many uploads recently, until recently, I should say. He's sort of back on the game now, which is really cool. Always enjoyed his content, and yeah, he started. He did the first response to this thread, which was upgrade me films that are on VHS or really crummy DVDs that you really think need a Blu-ray or 4K or whatever, some kind of HD, some kind of upgrade. That's what the game is all about here. And I thought this is a really cool idea. I'm going to get in on this. And before I could get there, Moods, your friend of mine, Moods, he got there and also did a response. And that was really cool to see his take on things. And yeah, both the guys made the point of saying this felt like a very old school YouTube community kind of, low effort, the kind of stuff we used to do in like 2011, 2012. There was community threads and there was response videos and people would enter competitions and all kinds of stuff. I mean, YouTube was a different beast back in the early 2010s, and yeah, this definitely feels a bit like that. But before we get into it, I want to take a look at a few films that have already had that upgrade from VHS to HD, and then this is the spirit that I'm taking into this. The other guys had their own angles, but for me, this is all about a film that is on VHS, and I mean VHS worldwide, with the exception of possibly a grey market German DVD that looks like a VHS anyway. We're really talking about stuff that is languishing on VHS, and that also applies to the majority of the films that I'm about to show you here. These are things in the last handful of years have had their upgrades, and all of these, I think people were like, this is never going to get an upgrade. I mean, we're talking about Blood Tracks, the Swedish horror heavy metal film, when we get a fantastic edition from Vinegar Syndrome, classic artwork there. That's a recent conversion. It had a sort of a hard box, a German hard box thing that looked okay, but it was hardly anything worth worrying about. And now we have this fantastic Blu-ray release from Vinegar Syndrome. So Blood Tracks, that's a good one. Trick or Treat. I mean, yeah, this one had an umbrella DVD, which was pretty crap and had an awful cover. And there was a German Blu-ray, and jury's out how legit that thing was. But yeah, I had the wrong title. It was called Ragman, and I don't think that counted. So yeah, when we finally got Trick or Treat, I mean, it's a film that should come out from the US, and it did. We get this absolutely insane edition that came out. Synapse is the one that released it, but this new company who is it Red T-Shirt Films or something? I'm still not used to remembering who they actually are. I think that's who they are. Not only did this on Blu-ray, but it's also a 4K. Like, this is an absolutely insane edition. So that's had an upgrade recently. We've had one that I really, really enjoyed, Fatal Games. This one was stuck on tape. There was the Australian tape. I know that for sure because I had it. And floating around the internet, there was a widescreen print that came from something, and I recall that somebody said it came from like a German TV broadcast or something, and then that made its way onto like bootleg discs and things. But either way, that didn't really count, and it was certainly not easily available. I could never find it. And now we have this beautiful edition from Vinegar Syndrome. There you go. That was the American VHS art. And I kind of wish they used the artwork I've seen on other tapes, which is this one here, because that one always I thought was stunning. And I don't think too much of this slipcover one. I mean, that's whatever, it's fine, but I would have preferred that one. So yeah, but anyway, Fatal Games, ridiculous. We have that now. Silent Madness. This may not be the world's best slasher, but it was definitely one of those ones that needed a proper disc. I don't know if there was anything. I know we definitely had a. There was just before this came out, there was a German DVD that was like, look, it's finally widescreen. It was just the full screen print zoomed in. It was absolutely atrocious. There was a lot of people very angry about that one, me included. And yeah, I don't think there was any other thing. I think it's just VHS tapes. So yeah, look, like I said, it's not great, but it is one of the slasher cycle from the 80s that needed the Blu-ray, and even, you know, it was shot in 3D, and you know, we get the edition with the crappy 3D glasses. So, you know, these things are getting upgrades now. So Silent Madness. This is the kind of stuff that makes me go, it's not that hard to believe that we might get the films I'm going to show after this on Blu-ray, because yeah, all bets are off. Funeral Home, finally. The VHS was basically unwatchable. It was so dark you couldn't see what was going on. At least the Australian tape, which was on Media, I think. And yeah, you couldn't see a thing on that tape, so I actually got rid of it because I couldn't enjoy the film at all. And yeah, there we go. Finally, and we, you know, just like the old saying goes, you wait for a bus and two come along at once. We get the Shout Factory one and the 88 films one in their slasher range, number 52. So, yep, really happy to get this one from 1980, early slasher one there. We also have, people were clamoring for years for this one, The Kindred. We knew it was coming for a long time. I think Synapse maybe gave us 5 years heads up. Or if not, it felt pretty close to it. And of course, they do deliver the goods. It takes some time, but they deliver the goods with a fantastic Wes Ben Scott artwork here, and it's on a damn steelbook. I'm not a big fan of steelbooks, but you know, they went all out on this thing. There's the soundtrack you get with the thing. There's the Blu-ray in there. Is that a DVD edition with it? Yep, the DVD edition as well. So we end up with a 3-disc set. It was worth the wait. And yeah, this thing was Japanese VHS was your best bet, and it was very, very dark. So yeah, Kindred. I think everybody was surprised that this finally got a release. The Keep. What else do I need to say? I think the majority of the planet had just written this thing off as ever getting a legit release. There was a ViaVision DVD a couple of years ago that was widescreen, and everyone was sort of, did they get permission for this? Because this thing is supposed to be just caught up in rights hell. But they got it out there, and it was in the shops, and you know, there you go. And now we have the Vinegar Syndrome edition here. And I know this is sold out, but ViaVision again are doing an Australian edition on 4K, and this is 4K as well. So yeah, if you missed out on this edition, don't worry. ViaVision, who is the parent company of Imprint, I know a lot of you guys overseas enjoy what we're doing with Imprint. You're going to have a second bite of the pie with The Keep. Amazing! I can't believe we actually have that now. And going back, way back in time here, I was very, very happy to see this one get a release from Severin. This is Libido, incredibly early giallo, black and white giallo from, I want to say, what is this, like 65? Yes, so this is right up there with the first Barber films, and it's really, really good. It follows the tropes, more or less, and it's quite a gripping film. It only existed on an incredibly hard to watch black and white. Obviously, I don't think it was even a VHS rip. It was just something that you could find floating online. It might have been from like a telecine or something, and then we get a Blu-ray. So I was incredibly happy to see this, and you could apply this to basically, you know, 3/4 of Vinegar Syndrome's Forgotten Jali collections. So many of those, I'm like, okay, great, tick that one off the list. Didn't see it coming, but Libido was definitely one of the big ones for me. This one, I'm still in shock that we have special silencers on Blu-ray from Mondo Macabro. This was the only way to watch this film was the Dutch VHS, and it's a crazy Indonesian film. Yeah, from Arizal, who's done a whole bunch of a lot of more action films he did, and I enjoy them all. They're all bonkers. Everything he did is bonkers. A lot of them with Robert Ginty. But yeah, to get this thing on Blu-ray with like a booklet with a, it's just mental, and it's even got some feature in here from Andrew Leavold, so Australian boy does well. Special silences. Who'd have thought we get a Blu-ray about a film where you swallow pills and a forest grows out of your stomach? But it happened. Excellent. And recently, and one that I know a lot of horror fans were happy to finally get, was Spider Labyrinth, one of the late Italian horror films. It gets thrown in there sometimes as giallo, which is wrong because it's really a supernatural horror. And there's the great cover artwork there. Again, it's had some sort of grey market DVDs floating around, but nothing to write home about. That was the Japanese VHS cover art. I've still got my Japanese tape. And that was the best way to watch it in letterbox. But now we have a ridiculous set here with a Blu-ray, a CD, and a friggin' 4K. It is the Golden Age, and in the spirit of this Golden Age, I present 10 more films that I think really need a Blu-ray. So the first one that I think really needs a HD upgrade from VHS, it's never had anything beyond that. Demon Warp with George Kennedy. I always liked this thing. Bit of nostalgia. This was one of the first ex-rental VHS that I ever bought back in sort of, probably I'd say like 94. Something along those lines. This is that tape. I never let this one go. Because there's no other option of this film. I've always loved the artwork on this thing. It's from 1988. There's the back of it. I mean, it's low budget, right? So, yeah, George Kennedy stars in a romp about a bunch of kids in a cabin in the woods. I'll read a little bit from the back. As old as the earth itself, its primordial silence broken only by the howling wind and blood-curdling screams. This is the realm of Demon Warp. A horrifying chasm between light and shadow. Ancient fear and future shock, and the living and the undead. Prepare for the ultimate transmutation in terror and escape the flesh-crawling explosive fury of Demon Warp. I mean, who is not going to say yes to that? And look, the artwork on the back of this thing, old CBS Fox tape here. Nice squeaky sound to it. There's the old CBS Fox tapes. Beautiful. But yeah, this film is all over the map. It goes along as sort of a standard forest slasher kind of thing. George Kennedy shows up, and then it takes a U-turn sharp into the supernatural with possessions, Bigfoot, aliens, all making an appearance, and it becomes a bit of a head scratcher. But I'm along for the ride for this one. Demon Warp from 1988, directed by Emmett Alston, who also did New Year's Evil, and we've got a Blu-ray of that. So can we get one for Demon Warp, please? And part of the fun things that both Moods and Horrors Ball added on to their suggestions for films were, what is the label, the boutique label you think would best handle this kind of film? And I've applied the same logic to my 10 picks here. And I think Demon Warp is Vinegar Syndrome all over. I mean, just think of the Fatal Games. This is a VS release, absolutely. So please, Vinegar Syndrome, let's get Demon Warp out there. So if Demon Warp was a B horror film, then this one's got to be a C, a D. We're getting close to X. Evil Altar, but I've always enjoyed this thing. From also 1988. This is a black magic devil worshipping cult led by William Smith in a small town. It is low budget. It's not shot on video. I'll read you from the back. In his quest for immortality, Reed Weller, devil worshipper, has sold his soul to the devil. Over the years, he has terrorized the small town in which he lives, aided by the grotesque Collector, a reborn slave to the devil whose sole purpose is to bring fresh teenage human sacrifices to Weller for ritual slaughter. For Weller, known as the Necromancer, to become totally immortal and the Collector to be set free of a spell that enslaves him, 103 sacrifices must be made. I don't know why it's 103, but it is. As the town's population rapidly begins to fall, it is up to a group of rebel teens to penetrate the Necromancer's domain and destroy him. With special effects filled climax, only one will survive this battle of dark magic. It's a hoot. 103 youngsters to sacrifice in this film. I don't know why 103. You just know that there was a board meeting with the director and he's just gone, 100 sounds too obvious. Someone says, let's make it 103, and that's what's would have stuck. It's got Robert Zadar. That's enough for you to want to buy this film. In his giant jaw, he plays the sheriff in this thing. He's the minion of Smith. This is directed by stuntman turned director James Winburn, who also did Miami Beach Cops, which is another one stuck on VHS. But this is loads of, well, we'll just politely say C horror fun. There is, I believe, I've seen it on eBay, a very obscure Greek DVD, but it's going to be struck from VHS anyway. You know, it doesn't really count. But yeah, Demon Warp. Evil Altar. We already did Demon Warp. So good. Evil Altar. It is a supernatural thriller, according to the CBS Fox Spine. Always loved this artwork. Really, really cool. Again, it doesn't really represent the film, but it's great. Great stuff. Another CBS Fox. There we go. The tape. And yeah, Evil Altar. Now, who do I think would put this one out? It's lower in grade. I'm thinking TerraVision. That is exactly who should be putting out Evil Altar from 1988. Yeah, let's make it happen. The third film I'm showing from 1990. This one is Wheels of Terror, a made-for-TV horror starring Joanna Cassidy from Blade Runner. She played Zora in that film. It's about an unknown driver who is abducting girls in his Charger. I'll read from the back here. A faceless horror haunts Copper Valley. Driven to despair, one woman is fighting back. Laura McKenzie, that's Joanna Cassidy, moves to Arizona with her 12-year-old daughter, Stephanie, to work as a bus driver for the Copper Valley Middle School. Before long, she notices a carnivorous-looking Dodge sedan following her bus route. A mysterious car picks up two of the girls in rapid succession. One is murdered. Then Stephanie herself is kidnapped, and Laura sets off in the bus in a nightmare chase across the mountains. So yeah, this is a lot of fun. Yeah, I think it was a TV film. Like I said, I'm pretty sure it's made for TV. This is the Australian tape on CIC, and there is a laser disc of this one. It has a really cool cover, and I wish we had that cover on it. And you can find bootlegs that are struck from the Laserdisc, which are going to look slightly better than the tape, of course, because it's a Laserdisc. And there's there's the tape here. So there you go. Yeah, always enjoy this one. I know it's got a lot of fans. Some made-for-TV horror films push the boundaries a bit, and I think Wheels of Terror definitely is one of those ones. It's not tepid at all, not gory or anything, but it's a good thrilling ride. And while we're at it, if we're doing car films, can we also do Death Car on the Freeway from 1979 with Shelley Hack? I love that one. It's similar in plot, but you swap the Charger for a truck driver who's playing the same banjo yokel song before every kill. He's running them off the road. It's fantastic. And both have that high stakes tension. So yeah, I'd like to see Death Car on the Freeway, but if we're going to be talking about Wheels of Terror, this is Severin. They've done TV films before, and I really think they would do a good job of this one. Yeah, Severin for sure. Borderline, Kino. Kino would also be a good choice, I think, for this one. But yeah, either way, Wheels of Terror. I mean, it's got Paramount logo on it. It's a decently sized film. Let's get this one out, please.
Wheels of Terror.
The next one from 1988 is Out of the Body, with, again, fantastic artwork. A very forgotten and somewhat maligned Brian Trenchard Smith film, the director of Turkey Shoot. Australia represent, a bit of psychological horror, this one, with a little bit of actual horror thrown in there as well. It's got a mysterious killer that's preying upon women in Sydney and removing their eyeballs. We'll read from the back here. Out of the body, there is danger, as music academic David Gaze will discover all too well. Gaze is troubled by nightmares in which he sees women menaced by an unseen presence about to be murdered. After each nightmare, media reports reveal the murders actually happened. The victims are all found without their eyes, and circumstantial evidence connects each one with David Gaze. After visiting a psychiatrist, it is discovered that David's astral spirit has been hijacked by a psychopathic force from another dimension. He can only travel when David is asleep. It's now up to Neva, David's lover, to confront the murderous beast and destroy it. From the producer of Death of a Soldier and starring Mark Hembrow from Man from Snowy River 2, more Australia, Out of the Body is a suspense thriller that takes you beyond the evils of the next dimension. Glorious! I enjoy it. It's not perfect, and Brian doesn't talk much about it either. But whatever. I can be the judge. It's great artwork again. Beautiful. Again, CBS Fox. We had a lot of good CBS Fox releases. And yeah, the beautiful artwork here. You get that Medusa logo on the back, which means the UK one was probably very similar. So yeah, Out of the Body. Yeah, like I said, not brilliant, but I've always enjoyed this one. I think, again, Severin is probably a good home for this. They've done a bunch of Australian films, and yeah, why not do Out of the Body as well? From 1998. Brian Trenchard Smith, give it a go. For me, this next film is the one that I am I am so surprised this doesn't have a proper release. This one is every year I just bet on somebody doing it. And as each year keeps pulling out things like The Keep, I am going to be continually going, when are we going to get a Blu-ray, probably a 4K, of Bells? What's going on? What is going on? AKA Murder by Phone on the American VHS. This is from 1982. Essentially, it's a slasher movie involving a killer that's offing people via the phone lines by playing this high-pitched sound that causes the other person's phone and frequently their head to explode. I mean, that's all you need to know. It's absolutely outstanding. I'll read from the back. It's only a little bit. The old Roadshow tapes didn't ever put much on here. Who is behind the terrifying phone device that melts and fries anything it reaches to a high-voltage death? The bizarre mastermind behind the violent death seems to control more than just his killer machine. Yeah, brilliant old Roadshow tape there. Love it. Always love the artwork on this one. Weighs a ton. I mean, this is from 82 or something. Just outstandingly fantastic tape. Yeah, it is. This is legitimately an excellent horror film, and I do not know why it doesn't have a release. It's got to be caught up in rights problems. It becomes kind of police procedurally, very similar to the French film Kamikaze, which is one I was belting on about for years. I should have shown that in the films that have finally came out, but it's not so much horror. This one's more horror. But similar to that film, which has got the killer using television signals to kill newsreaders. Yeah, on this one we've got a killer using the phone lines to kill seemingly random people on the other end. But the difference with these two films is with Kamikaze is you know who the guy is from pretty much the start, and he's shown he's gloating about it the whole time. But with Bells you don't. It's always a hidden, just hands and that kind of thing. You know, the kills are great. People get launched out of windows when the phone explodes. Like, this is fantastic. Important note though, if you can't wait and you want to watch the VHS version, you've got to watch the longer one called Bells. So this Australian tape runs for 92 minutes. That's correct. The Murder by Phone version is 20 minutes shorter. 20 minutes. I've never seen that cut, and I don't intend to. You want to see Bells. So, yeah. Make sure you check it out. Directed by Michael Anderson, who did Logan's Run. I mean, that's a proper film. Why don't we have Bells? But anyway, my suggestion for when we do get Bells is, I mean, this is a Shout Factory. I mean, this is a Shout Factory in 3 discs, in 4K with a CD soundtrack, a slipcover, and a limited edition poster, and a film cell, and like, come on. We all know it is. That's one of their films. This is Bells, 1982. Absolutely mandatory.
Hello?
The next one's a pretty weird one. I don't know if it's for everybody. I enjoy it. It's not exactly great, but it's certainly befitting of at least a couple of the labels out there to release. This is Timesweep, 1987. This is the Japanese VHS, so I can't read anything from the back for you. I did have the Australian tape at one point, which had this really cool clock melting artwork on it, but I've now got the Japanese tape. This one, basically, a group of people enter this old movie studio. Suddenly, they're confronted by a variety of strange phenomena. Among other things, they are transported through time sweep, and the building is surrounded by this deadly acid fog. There are like Roman centurions, there's alien spaceships, giant cockroaches. They're all thrown at these hapless explorers, decimating the group one by one, very slasher style. yeah, it's pretty mental. It's pretty claustrophobic. Like they're just stuck in this warehouse and ambling around. But when it has the kills, they're quite gory, and that's really the main thing for this one. The pacing is pretty off. Like there is a lot of walking around a warehouse and then someone gets killed. But hey, look, so many other slashes of the '80s were like this. So yeah, you can forgive it. It's damn interesting, and it's I think it's good fun. The kills are worth staying awake for the very least. The director of this film never did anything else that I could work out, so I'm not surprised that it's so obscure. But yeah, this is the Japanese tape. There you go, and a little bit there at the cover artwork. You can see people down there on the bottom, and yeah, there's the UFO thing at the top. So yeah, a bit of monstery, alien-y, Roman centurion fun. I like it. It's bonkers. And who could release a film like this? It's got to be Terrorvision. This is a Terrorvision for sure. It's got the name all over it. 1987 Timesweep. I'd like to see it. Would you? Here's another one that I can't read from the back from because this is a Chinese tape and, well, it's all written in Chinese on the back. This is Brutal Sorcery from 1983. Oh, man. I was very, very happy to get this tape. It's incredibly rare. This is the story of a demonic possession by black magic, as you'd expect, with the loyal and faithful husband, that guy there, eating the bones. He's dragged into a pit of adultery and despair in his vain attempt to overthrow the bestial, lustful influences of brutal sorcery. That's the synopsis from online. But man, this thing has got some over-the-top money shots, and you're staring at one right there. Like our lead here gets possessed multiple times, and then eats a live chicken. Now, what we see is a chicken clucking away, and he picks it up, and then there's this abrupt cut. Because this tape is nearly almost uncut, but it's not fully uncut. The fully uncut version apparently is the Japanese VHS, but that is not English friendly whatsoever. You get this jump cut, and then he's suddenly just chewing on the bones, and I'm like, oh, did he just like chow into a live chicken? I don't know what's happening in that missing bit. Kind of hoping he didn't, but hey, look, it's one of the scenes in the film. But as well as that, we've got like this maggot-filled corpse that explodes. There you go. Another money shot right there. Explodes. Again, the version in this, you get most of the explosion, but not all of it. If you get the Japanese tape, then you see apparently a lot more of the stomach insides. But look, if you like Bewitched, Boxer's Omen, Brutal Sorcery, I mean, it's just your Cat 3 filth from 83. I mean, it's exactly the kind of thing you want. There are a couple of versions of the film around, all VHS. There's also VCDs, I think. But there's no DVD whatsoever. I'm unsure if there's a Laserdisc. There might be. Probably would be because Ocean Shores did a lot of Laserdiscs, but that doesn't mean it's got any English. Now, this tape has got two ones that I'm aware of. There is this edition here, and then there is this edition. And this edition here, which has a cover that looks very much like the skull from Dario Argento's Inferno. I'm pretty sure it's just directly ripped off. That one is the English language dub. This one here is the only known edition of it in Cantonese, the native language, and English subtitles. No other known release of it, and I was incredibly lucky to get this one on eBay a few years ago. So yeah, there you go. Ocean Shores, VHS. Directed by Han Ling. He has done... side here, Ocean Shores tape. Han Ling, he's done two other films that I've not seen that are both Cat 3, The Curse and Fury of the Heaven. Now that smells like a box set to me, right? A little 3-film gory Cat 3 box set. I think this is going to come out from somebody like Error 4444. Got a bit of a vibe to them. Maybe Cauldron's sister label, the Asian label, the name escapes me at the moment. See them doing this as well, probably in a nice little box set. They'd be more likely to do a box set, I think. But Era 4444 would probably just shoot this thing out, put a slipcover on it, and we'd be very happy. But yeah, brutal Sorcery. It's pretty mental. The pacing, again, not so great, but that's definitely worth watching. Look who's toxic! You can see why I rented this and then bought it. What a title. What an absolutely majestic name for a film. This is low-budget trash that feels very Troma. Like that early Troma, like, you know, Killer Nerd, that kind of thing. That's what you're feeling with this one. It's not obviously shot on video. I don't think it was. It probably was shot on film. But it's such a great title. It's such a great title. We'll read from the back. Bobby Clifton is back from the dead and he wants his heart back. The millionaire's irresponsible decision to dump millions of gallons of toxic waste into public waters comes back to haunt him in the shape of a recycled nightmare. Arnold Davis, like many other rich, powerful executives who owned chemical plants, dumped the toxic waste from their factory into the local water supply. Even with all his money and power, Davis's heart was failing. With only weeks to live, he was determined to buy his way back into life. Young, greedy, ambitious Dr. Claiborne accepts the offer of millions of dollars to find a donor. A donor is selected: young, bright, attractive, healthy, that's capitalized, Bobby Clifton. Claiborne arranges for him to be abducted and taken to the laboratory where he performs the surgery. Within moments, Bobby is dead and his body is dumped into the polluted waters. You can see where this is going. David recovers and smoothly rolls back into life as a successful, corrupted businessman. EPA investigation is squelched when the official is found murdered. A hideous, misshapen, man-like creature appears near the factory, dripping polluted matter from the public waters. In his chest is a large gaping hole. Where could his heart have gone? From the toxic waste, Bobby Clifton is back from the dead and he wants his heart back. Ugh, this is great. I love this thing. There's obviously a lot of toxic Avenger shit going on here. This is the only thing that the director Lewis Matthews did. He directed it. He's the cinematographer. That's all she wrote. His name doesn't do anything else on IMDb. If you know if he did anything else, I'm really curious, but that's all he's done. I mean, it looks professional. The poster's great. It's got the full card down there. Tumbleweed Productions came out. This is the old Fortress tape, and I had to burn a DVD-R of it as well, because my tape was starting to get a little bit how you going. Had this one for a long time. Getting a little bit how you going, and it's not one that shows up at all. So I need to have a backup of it just in case, because we don't have anything else. So yeah, look who's toxic. Never recycle what you don't want to come back. I recommend this thing, and this feels like a Saturn's Core. This really does. This is a Saturn's Core release. Yeah, it's craptacular, but in all the right ways. Check this one out. Look Who's Toxic from 1990.
Then you think I'm gonna fall for that old "there's a monster behind you" routine? No, you made 3 mistakes. I guess you're gonna have to go in the water after all.
For reasons that I no longer recall, I don't have my VHS of this one anymore, but I do recall that I did a backup to DVD and made a nice cover of it, because who couldn't love that cover? Mind Killer from 1987. Look at that cover. It's just stunning. I mean, I'm happy enough with my DVD that I've made myself here, but I could really use a Blu-ray of this thing. The first half of this film... Well, let me just read from the back first. Okay, we'll read from the back, which came from the VHS. Only a superior mind can save him. Warren is a nerd who lacks self-confidence. Up until now, he has failed miserably with women. Determined to change his luck, he turns to a collection of self-improvement books that he has acquired. Warren uncovers a method of utilizing the full potential of his brain and is soon able to perform amazing feats of mind control. He carries his mind exercises too far. His seething brain reaches uncontrollable proportions. Finally, Warren loses his mind, and a vicious mutant brain monster explodes from his head, taking on a life of its own. So, yeah, I mean, you got a bit of basket case in there. You know, you got a. It's got a few things going on there with that. You know, maybe even your Killer Nerd that I was talking about before. You know, the brain, obviously, some brain in there, but Yeah, so the first half of this film, though, is a little bit of a slow burn. We witness Warren, our nerd, try to be cool like his roommate Brad, and he's continually just striking out with the women, just failing left, right, and center. But once we get into the third act, it is crazy, and we get the brain monster. I mean, it's great. It's a great looking thing, too. It doesn't look that good in the film because it's struck from I've got a VHS rip here, and there's nothing else. I mean, this photo is better quality than anything in the film. It's a shame. And there he is there with his head exploding. But yeah, that is an outstanding artwork. How can we have that artwork and no Blu-ray? This is I did have the tape. I got the tape around about when I got Demon Walk. It was like I got these 2X rentals and just went, my life has changed. And yeah, Mind Killer, the perfect meld of comedy and horror. Yeah, it's not perfect, and the comedy is kind of weird, but I mean, I love this thing. Now, it is, like I said, it's a little bit ambling, and then it gets mental. I mean, but you always kind of like the main character, which is good. Directed by Michael Kruger, whose only other film is Night Vision, came out the same year in '87. Also has no release, so I smell a double feature from Bleeding Skull. Yes, I can smell it. A Michael Kruger 2-up of Mind Killer and Night Vision on a double feature. Bleeding Skull. I can see it. I really can. Mind Killer. Beautiful looking stuff. '87. We need this.
It's all in your mind.
You can't escape.
Mind Killer.
And the last one here, I've left it to last because this one does sort of have a DVD. I'm holding it. You got to get it from Germany. Again, German DVD. Was this legit? I don't know, but it's not struck from VHS. They do have a print. It's still full screen, but it's the best bet you can get for this thing, and that is Blood Beach. Come on, Blood Beach from 1980. Quite going back to the early. Not even part of the slasher cycle. This is part of your Jaws cycle. Something or someone is attacking people one by one on the beach. Look at that cover. Some of them are mutilated. Most of them are sucked into the sand, like our poor lass here, disappearing without a trace. Police Chief John Saxon. Yes, we have John Saxon in this film. He thinks it's a serial killer. Meanwhile, David Huffman and Mariana Hill, they're our sort of lead and leadess, searching for the clues in abandoned buildings. And yeah, it's just a bit of Jaws kind of stuff going on here, and then trying to work out, like, is this a monster? Is it a serial killer? What's going on with this thing? Directed by Jeffrey Bloom, who did Flowers in the Attic. I think most people will probably be reasonably familiar with that one. But Blood Beach, I mean, I've got a wonderful poster of this thing. Everyone likes this artwork. It's fantastic. The film doesn't hold up to the artwork. I couldn't swear that it does, but it's pretty damn good, and it's very entertaining. And yeah, look, it's probably a grey market DVD on some label called Jam. I don't know. I've never heard of them. But the print is decent. And the reason I think it's kind of grey market, there you go, there's inside, is that there's a couple of different ones you can get from different companies that are German as well. It's like they're almost treating it like it's public domain. So whatever, but we need better. We need a nice Blu-ray. We need a 4K or something of this thing. The brilliant movie really sells this to the Jaws crowd, So yeah, whomever does release this, you must use this poster. I don't want to see no reimagining. This is the old cover of your Blu-ray. Please, thank you, sir. Put that on there. Yeah, Blood Beach from 1980. This is Vinegar Syndrome. Yeah, yeah. This one really is. This is totally a Vinegar Syndrome release. They might even go all out. They might do this one of their sort of hard slipcover things that comes with a slipcover on a disc, and then that's inside a box, and then there's like cards and shit in there. We could get that with Blood Beach. If you pre-order, you might get some kind of, I don't know, some kind of medallion or something, like, or a deck of cards. You know what it's like with Vinegar Syndrome. But David Huffman, Mariana Hill, Burt Young in this thing as well. But yeah, John Saxon as the sheriff. It's good fun. It's not perfect, but it's good fun, and it absolutely needs better than this thing. So yeah, Blood Beach from 1980. So this is my stack, my first 10 that I thought of horror films that are basically stuck on VHS. There's a grey market DVD or two in there, but you know, these things need Blu-rays. There's not even decent streaming versions of these things around that I'm aware of. These things are languishing and we need some upgrades. And now is the time. If I can have special silencers on Blu-ray, there's no reason why I can't have brutal sorcery. It's just got to be done. It's got to be done, folks. So yeah, these are the 10 I picked. Leave in the comments below. I'd love to know your horror films that are stuck on VHS that you'd really like to see on Blu-ray. I mean, we've had attempts at things like Rocktober Blood, but that got stuffed up by just being a VHS on a BDR. Boo! Boo! But you know, there's plenty of things out there that we really do need an upgrade for. Terror on Tour. Why don't we have that? We need Terror on Tour. Vinegar Syndrome. You should be doing Terror on Tour. What else can you think of? Put them in the comments below. And big thanks to Horrors Ball and shout out to Moods as well for getting on this thread. It is a bit of an old school kind of horror community one, this one. I really enjoy it. So in the spirit of that, any of you guys that want to do a response to this as well, please do. I'd love to see some video responses, old school style, on this thread of upgrade me horror films that you want to see get the HD treatment. Hope you liked this video. If you do, please like, subscribe, consider joining the channel. 99 cents a month for early access. Check out this thing. See you next time.